The golden age of piracy, spanning from the mid-17th to the early 18th century, saw the rise of legendary figures like Blackbeard, Captain Kidd, and Anne Bonny. These notorious buccaneers have captivated our imaginations for centuries, their exploits immortalized in literature, film, and popular culture. Their names evoke images of daring raids, fierce battles, and untold riches. However, amidst these iconic pirates lie lesser-known figures who played significant roles in shaping maritime history. Their stories, often shrouded in mystery, offer a unique glimpse into the brutal realities of life on the high seas during this tumultuous era. One such figure is Adam Baldridge. Though not as famous as Blackbeard or Captain Kidd, Baldridge's exploits were audacious, his impact on piracy profound. Operating from Madagascar, Baldridge established a shadowy empire built on trade, smuggling, and exploiting colonial vulnerabilities. His story reveals a more nuanced picture of these maritime outlaws. As Baldridge amassed wealth in the Caribbean, his ambitions grew. The crowded Atlantic trade routes pushed him to expand his operations. His gaze turned eastward, towards the Indian Ocean, teeming with exotic goods and wealthy spice merchants. The Indian Ocean offered unique opportunities and challenges. Unlike the Caribbean, it was a fragmented region with ancient empires and powerful sultanates. For Baldridge, it was a chance to escape the crowded Caribbean and establish himself on a global stage. So after weeks sailing the ocean, Baldridge's ship finally arrives at Ile Sainte-Marie. It's this little island near Madagascar. Pirates called it St. Mary's. Think of a tropical paradise, right? Safe harbors, lots of plants and trees, perfect for growing things. It was in a really good spot too, perfect for Baldridge to build his pirate kingdom. Gap 2S. Now some pirates and escaped slaves and even some shipwrecked sailors already lived on the island. But Baldridge, he takes charge pretty quickly. He had this big idea, build a town that could take care of itself. They'd grow their own food, trade with others, and, oh yeah, still be pirates. And with Baldridge leading them, they turned St. Mary's into a super strong pirate base. St. Mary's, under Baldridge's guidance, transformed into a bustling hub of illicit trade. The island's strategic location attracted ships from across the globe. Merchant vessels laden with treasures sailed alongside heavily armed pirate ships. Baldridge established a system of barter and exchange, allowing pirates to offload their gains and acquire supplies. St. Mary's became a haven for smugglers and a place where legitimate merchants could find rare goods. The influx of wealth transformed the island, attracting a motley crew of outcasts and adventurers. At the heart of St. Mary's success lay a thriving, unconventional economy. Baldridge fostered a sustainable system, understanding that true wealth lay in creating a system that generated its own wealth. Piracy remained a cornerstone, with Baldridge organizing regular raiding expeditions. However, he recognized that piracy alone was not sustainable and diversified the island's economy. Shipbuilding and repair became major industries, with skilled carpenters and shipwrights maintaining a formidable fleet. This expertise allowed Baldridge to challenge even the most powerful warships. While St. Mary's was a haven for pirates, it was not lawless. Baldridge established a rudimentary legal system based on pirate codes and maritime traditions. The pirate articles governed conduct, addressing issues like the division of plunder and the resolution of disputes. Baldridge served as the ultimate arbiter of justice, holding court regularly and meting out punishments. To assist him, he appointed a council of trusted lieutenants who acted as judges, mediators, and enforcers. This system maintained order and ensured the continued prosperity of St. Mary's.
Life on St. Mary's was a blend of frenetic activity and languid idleness. The arrival of a prize ship sent a surge of excitement through the island. Pirates swarmed the docks, eager to claim their share of the bounty. Once the spoils were divided, a wave of celebration washed over St. Mary's. Taverns overflowed with revelers, indulging in the pleasures denied to them in their former lives. Yet these periods of revelry were followed by the mundane realities of life on a remote island, with the work of repairing ships and maintaining defenses continuing unabated. Despite the hardships, pirates of St. Mary's found their own amusements. They created unique forms of entertainment, drawing on their diverse backgrounds. Gambling, music, and storytelling were favorite pastimes. Taverns served as gambling dens, filled with lively characters. Music and dancing were integral, with diverse musical traditions. Sea shanties and ballads reflected their lives on the seas. Storytelling provided intellectual stimulation and escape. Tales of adventures became part of their shared mythology. Gathered under the stars, they shared legendary tales. Stories of daring raids and mythical creatures were embellished.
While St. Mary's offered its inhabitants a degree of freedom and opportunity rarely found elsewhere in the world, it was also a place where violence was never far from the surface. The pirates, accustomed to a life of danger and settling their differences through force, brought their violent tendencies with them to their island haven. Drunken brawls, often fueled by petty rivalries, gambling debts, or simply the potent combination of rum and testosterone, were a regular occurrence. The taverns, usually scenes of boisterous camaraderie, could erupt into chaos at the slightest provocation, as tables were overturned, tankards flew through the air, and fists, and sometimes knives, were drawn. Duels, often fought over matters of honor, were another accepted method of resolving disputes among the pirates. These formalized confrontations, typically fought with pistols or swords, were governed by a strict code of conduct, with seconds ensuring that the rules were followed and that the duel was fought to the death, or until one participant was too injured to continue. The threat of mutiny, ever present in the volatile world of piracy, also loomed over St. Mary's. While Baldridge commanded the respect and loyalty of many of his men, his authority was not absolute. Disgruntled pirates, dissatisfied with their share of the loot, angered by Baldridge's decisions, or simply driven by ambition, could easily turn against their leader, seeking to seize power for themselves. The history of piracy was littered with tales of mutinies, often ending in bloodshed, and the downfall of even the most powerful pirate captains. Life on St. Mary's Island, for all its allure, was fraught with peril. Isolation bred unique challenges, with disease being the most insidious. Malaria and dysentery decimated crews, turning paradise into a nightmare. The tropical climate harbored diseases unfamiliar to European immune systems. Malaria spread by mosquitoes could lay low even the strongest pirate. Dysentery, spread through contaminated water, was another constant threat. Unsanitary conditions made pirates particularly susceptible to diseases. Crowded quarters and lack of sanitation created breeding grounds for epidemics. Even minor wounds could become infected and turn gangrenous. Disease hung over St. Mary's like a perpetual curse. Burial parties became a grim testament to the fragility of life. The pirates of St. Mary's faced growing threats from the outside world. Their raids on shipping lanes and settlements did not go unnoticed. European powers, threatened by the pirates' defiance, began to take notice. The East India Companies viewed the pirates as a direct threat. Pirate attacks on merchant ships disrupted trade and cut into profits. The companies responded with heavily armed warships. Pirates now faced well-trained crews and superior firepower. The waters around St. Mary's became a battleground. Cannons roared, masts toppled, and decks ran red with blood. Even the pirates' daring could not always prevail. As external pressures mounted, internal divisions within the pirate haven of St. Mary's began to surface and fester. The same forces that had initially drawn the pirates together now threatened to tear them apart. The influx of new recruits diluted the bonds of loyalty and trust. Newcomers lacked the experience and shared sense of purpose. They were more interested in quick profits than long-term survival. Increased competition for resources led to tensions. Supplies dwindled as the population swelled. Competition for spoils intensified, with newer recruits feeling cheated. The social fabric of St. Mary's began to fray. Old rivalries resurfaced with renewed vigor. Nationalistic tensions and personal grudges erupted into violence. Taverns transformed into potential tinderboxes. The pirates, once united, now found themselves increasingly divided and suspicious. The notion of abandoning St. Mary's began to take root among the pirates. The island, once a symbol of freedom, now felt like a trap. Leadership weighed heavily on Baldridge. Gatherings turned somber, filled with unspoken anxieties. scouts painted a grim picture. The East India Companies were amassing a formidable fleet. Whispers of a massive assault fueled anxiety. Loyalty wavered. Self-preservation whispered an alternative: abandon St. Mary's. The thought of leaving filled Baldridge with a profound sense of loss. The tide was turning, and a difficult choice had to be made. The decision to abandon St. Mary's became the only viable option in the face of insurmountable odds. Whispers of departure transformed into a collective murmur that swept through the island. Pirates prepared for the inevitable exodus, hoping for a brighter future beyond the horizon. The bustling harbor transformed into a scene of controlled chaos. Ships were meticulously provisioned for the long journey ahead. Casks of fresh water were rolled aboard, more precious than any treasure. Sacks of provisions were carefully stowed below decks. Pirates, faces etched with determination, went about their tasks with practiced efficiency. Chests of personal belongings and treasures were loaded onto longboats. Weapons were clean, sharpened and secured, a testament to the ever-present threat of danger. Amidst the organized chaos, an undercurrent of tension crackled through the air. Pirates grappled with the uncertainty of their futures. Alliances showed signs of strain as factions jostled for survival. As the last of his crew boarded the ships, their silhouettes receding into the gathering dusk, Adam Baldridge stood alone on the shore of St. Mary's, his gaze fixed on the island that had been his kingdom, his sanctuary, his prison. The weight of his decision pressed down on him with the crushing force of a tidal wave. The island, once a hive of activity, now stood eerily silent, the remnants of the pirates' presence fading like ghosts. The taverns, once filled with raucous laughter, now stood empty, their doors creaking in the wind. The scent of salt spray now carried a bitter tang, a reminder of dreams washed ashore. Turning his back on his pirate empire, Baldridge boarded his ship. As the sails unfurled, a profound sense of loss washed over him. The details of Adam Baldridge's life after his departure are shrouded in mystery. Some whispered he sailed east, seeking new adventures and riches. Others claimed he returned to the Caribbean to rebuild his empire. Yet, like a phantom ship, Baldridge disappeared from history. The once feared pirate captain became a ghost story whispered among sailors. While the man himself vanished into the annals of history, the legend of Adam Baldridge and his pirate haven on St. Mary's Island continued to loom large. The tale of the shrewd merchant turned pirate king, who carved out a kingdom for himself and his crew, became a staple of maritime folklore, passed down through generations of sailors and adventurers. For some, Baldridge's story served as a cautionary tale, a reminder of the fleeting nature of fortune and ambition. Yet for others, Baldridge's legacy held a more romantic appeal. He embodied a spirit of defiance, rejecting the rigid social hierarchies of 17th-century Europe. St. Mary's Island, under his leadership, transformed into a utopia of sorts where individuals from diverse backgrounds could live together in relative harmony. The reality, of course, was far more complex and nuanced. St. Mary's, while offering freedom and opportunity, was also a place of violence, hardship, and constant danger. The pirates, while capable of great camaraderie and loyalty, were also driven by greed, ambition, and a willingness to resort to violence. Their experiment in self-governance, while initially successful, ultimately succumbed to internal divisions, external pressures, and the corrosive effects of unchecked power. The legend endures, a testament to the enduring allure of freedom and adventure. The reality, of course, was far more complex and nuanced. St. Mary's, while offering a degree of freedom and opportunity rarely found elsewhere, was also a place of violence, hardship, and constant danger. The pirates, while capable of great camaraderie and loyalty, were also driven by greed, ambition, and a willingness to resort to violence to achieve their goals. Their experiment in self-governance, while initially successful, ultimately succumbed to the same forces that plagued more established societies: internal divisions, external pressures, and the corrosive effects of unchecked power. The story of Adam Baldridge, like all historical narratives, must be approached with a critical eye, separating fact from fiction, myth from reality. The romanticized image of the pirate, while undeniably appealing, should not blind us to the darker aspects of this historical phenomenon. Piracy, at its core, was a form of organized crime, driven by profit and fueled by violence and exploitation. However, the study of piracy, even in its most brutal and unforgiving forms, offers valuable insights into the complexities of human nature, the dynamics of power, and the challenges of governance in a world often defined by lawlessness and the pursuit of self-interest. The pirates, operating outside the boundaries of established societies, created their own codes of conduct, systems of governance, and social hierarchies, often reflecting the very systems they sought to escape. The story of Adam Baldridge and his pirate haven on St. Mary's Island serves as a reminder that history is not a static collection of names and dates, but a dynamic and evolving narrative, shaped by the perspectives of those who tell it. By delving deeper into the lives of lesser-known figures like Baldridge, we gain a more nuanced and multifaceted understanding of the past, revealing the interconnectedness of events, the complexities of human motivation, and the enduring power of stories to both inform and inspire.